Hey there, Cowboys fan. Let's get right into it. The Dallas Cowboys opened their 2025 NFL Draft by selecting offensive lineman Tyler Booker out of Alabama. And let's just say that pick didn't exactly go unnoticed. Booker was certainly on a few radars, but taking him in the first round sparked some serious debate among analysts and fans alike. Why? Because a lot of people were expecting a flashier pick to kick things off, especially with some big-name prospects still on the board. That includes wide receiver Tetairoa McMillan, who many believed could become a WR1 in the league, or even a high-upside defender like Will Johnson. Now let's talk about what Mel Kiper Jr. had to say about this selection. He gave the pick a grade of B, not bad, but definitely not exciting. According to Kiper, the good news is that the Cowboys addressed a real need. With Tyron Smith gone, that offensive line needed help, and Booker has the physical tools and versatility to step in as a day-one starter. But on the flip side, Kiper also pointed out that this wasn't what you'd call a flashy move. Booker is the kind of player who makes your offense better in the trenches, protects your quarterback, and helps the run game. But he's not the type to end up in the highlight reels. And for a fan base looking for a big splash, it felt a bit too safe. So let me ask you, what did you think of the Tyler Booker pick in the first round? Do you agree with the Cowboys' decision, or would you have gone in a different direction? Drop your take in the comments. And if this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're just getting started. In the next chapter, we're diving into what might end up being the Cowboys' biggest steal of the draft. Now let's talk about a pick that has fans buzzing in a very different way. With their second-round selection, the Cowboys grabbed Donovan Ezrouaku, the edge rusher from Boston College. And this one might just be the steal of the draft. Mel Kiper Jr. was quick to highlight this move as a high-value pickup. He actually gave this pick a higher mark than Booker's, calling it a smart and strategic grab. Why? Because Ezrouaku brings exactly what the Cowboys' defense needed, more pressure off the edge. With Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler Jr. gone, and DeMarcus Lawrence not getting any younger, this team desperately needed reinforcements in the pass rush. Ezrouaku may not be a household name just yet, but he's got the traits to thrive in Dallas. He's explosive off the line, plays with relentless energy, and has a real knack for disrupting quarterbacks. Kiper noted that he's still developing, but with Dan Quinn gone and Mike Zimmer stepping in, Ezrouaku lands in a system that values physicality and discipline, two things he already brings to the table. And here's something that's easy to miss. This pick also gives the Cowboys flexibility. They don't have to rush Ezrouaku into a full-time role. He can rotate in behind Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, learning and growing while still making an impact in key situations. Now, I want your take on this one. Do you think Donovan Ezrouaku can become a future starter for this Cowboys defense? Or was this just a depth move with limited upside? Let me know in the comments. Coming up next, we've got a defensive back with serious potential and a chip on his shoulder. Let's break down the Cowboys' third-round pick. All right, now let's get into the Cowboys' third-round pick. And this one flew under a lot of radars. Dallas selected Shavon Revel, the long and aggressive cornerback out of Oregon State. At first glance, some fans didn't know what to think. But if you dig just a little deeper, this pick makes a lot of sense. Revel is a long, physical corner who thrives in press coverage. He's got the frame at 6'2", and he's not afraid to get his hands dirty at the line of scrimmage. Mel Kiper called him a moldable piece of clay, someone who might not be polished yet but has all the traits coaches want to work with. And let's be honest, the Cowboys' secondary needed depth, especially with Stephon Gilmore still unsigned and Jordan Lewis on a one-year deal. But here's the kicker. Revel plays with swagger. That kind of confidence is contagious in a secondary, and it's something Dan Quinn's defenses always thrived on. Even though Zimmer is now calling the shots, that aggressive downhill mentality still matters. Kiper mentioned Revel's ability to mirror routes and stick to receivers, even if he needs to improve his footwork and recognition. The tools are there, and that's why Dallas didn't wait until day 3 to grab him. If he develops the right way, Revel could be that press man corner who pairs beautifully with Trevon Diggs, while Darren Bland continues to dominate inside. It's about building a complete cornerback room, not just betting on stars. And this pick does just that. So I'm curious, do you think Shavon Revel can push for snaps early in his rookie year? Or is he more of a long-term project? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Next up, we'll take a quick look at day 3 of the draft and which picks could quietly make some noise this season. Don't go anywhere. Now, let's talk about day 3, the portion of the draft where front offices earn their money. And for the Cowboys, this was all about finding value and potential fits for the roster puzzle. Dallas came in with a few clear needs: offensive line depth, linebacker, help, maybe even a developmental quarterback. And while none of the day 3 picks had the flashy star power of a first-rounder, there's real potential here. One of the most intriguing picks was Nathan Thomas, the offensive lineman from Louisiana. He's raw, sure, but Dallas has a track record of turning mid- and late-round linemen into solid contributors. Think back to guys like Tyler Biadasz or even Terrence Steele. Thomas plays with a nasty streak and moves surprisingly well for his size. Don't be shocked if he pushes for a backup role early. Then there's Ryan Flournoy, the wide receiver from Southeast Missouri State. He's a name not many fans knew coming in, but he's got juice. Flournoy runs crisp routes, tracks the ball well, and competes like a guy who knows he has to fight for every rep. Could he become the next Noah Brown or Cedric Wilson type contributor? Absolutely. Another under-the-radar addition was linebacker Marist Liufau out of Notre Dame. He's got that old-school physicality, but what stands out is his versatility. He can drop into coverage, blitz off the edge, and plays with a ton of effort. In today's NFL, where hybrid defenders are more valuable than ever, Liufau could carve out a role on special teams and eventually more. So here's the big question. Which day 3 pick do you think will surprise the most? Let me know in the comments and vote in the poll pinned to the top of the chat. I'll be reading what you have to say. Coming up in our final chapter, we'll tie it all together with Mel Kiper's overall grade and what it tells us about the Cowboys' direction going into the 2025 season. All right, let's wrap this up with what everyone wants to know: the final verdict from Mel Kiper Jr. So what grade did he give the Cowboys for their 2025 NFL draft class? Mel handed Dallas a solid B. Not flashy, not elite, but solid. He praised the team's focus on the trenches, especially with the selection of Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe, both of whom he sees as long-term starters. Kiper also liked the upside in picks like Donovan Ezrouaku and Shavon Revel, guys who can develop into impact defenders if given the right coaching. What kept the grade from rising higher was the perceived lack of a true game changer at the top and some risks taken on raw players later in the draft. But let's zoom out for a second. The Cowboys made this draft about identity. They doubled down on physicality, versatility, and toughness. They addressed weaknesses that haunted them in the playoffs: the trenches, depth at linebacker, and consistency at corner. Maybe this class doesn't wow today, but a year or two down the line, it could be the backbone of a deeper, more resilient team. And now I want to hear from you. Do you agree with Mel Kiper's grade? Would you go higher, lower? Drop your grade in the comments and tell me what you loved or hated about this Cowboys draft class. Before we wrap, one final poll. Who was your favorite Cowboys pick in the entire draft? Let's see which name Cowboys Nation is riding with heading into training camp. Thanks for hanging with me through this full draft breakdown. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next big Cowboys update. I'll catch you in the next one.